recording, streaming. Grab the stream. Grab the stream. Mute myself. There we go. You have pure cooked muffins. Muffins is never cooked. I paused my small video for this. I don't know if that's worth it, but thank you. Alright. I don't remember which trainer is first, actually. Kale. Kale, alright. That's spoilers. Goodness. Alright, there is a nurse down there, so we're gonna just start by wandering over it. This isn't gonna be a super long stream. I'm not planning on doing any additional fight preps afterwards, but I had like an hour and a bit this evening, and it turned out to be really straightforward to do all the rain singles, so we're gonna go do all the rain singles while I have the chance. So the next time I have some time, I don't have to try to like remember these across multiple days, because like I said, I got raid tomorrow on Thursday. Maybe Friday, but I don't think it's likely. And then I'm going to be out of town until the following Tuesday. So I don't really want to have fight lines sitting in my head for like a week. Yeah, a little bit of it. Oh man, I didn't even notice the... Look at this shadow in the water of like the Jolty. Oh, that looks so nice. I've never noticed that they did that for followers before. That's cool. Yeah, reasonably short stream. Probably not any longer than an hour. A couple of fights, a couple of encounters. Isn't it cool? Oh man, the detail in the followers implementation is really impressive. There's like a bug trainer or something there. He does look away, right? Nice. Maybe I've already fought him, I can't remember. Okay, we're at the Nature's Person. What do we need for the first trainer? A dugong. A lantern. Oh man, it occurs to me, I don't think we did follower checks for all the evolved forms of what we were looking at yesterday. Or over the weekend. I think I just got kind of tired. And didn't think about it. We saw Snorunt, but I don't think we've seen these ones. Oh man, okay, Mantine is familiar. I must have done a had a Mantine at one point in one of the Heart Gold Soul Silver runs. I do like his little smiley face. I had an Excadrill in my casual run, so I have seen this. This is very nice. Although I find the side sprite needs to be just like a little bit fatter. You know, he feels like he's too narrow to me. This is perfect width, but maybe that's just a wrong interpretation because his sprite has always looked a little bit thick. Oh my goodness, that's like, I thought Mudsdale was orange. This homie is orange. Wow. That is bright. Oh man, yeah, Noivern looks awesome. This is exactly what I would have expected. Alright, back to Dugong. Dugong, Lantern, Mudsdale. Actually, Excadrill probably would have worked for Mudsdale's job, but I'm not used to having one, so I didn't put it in the calc. That's fine. We're not gonna go and redo things. The Sidgewai. And my notes say Filler, Meganium, and Filler Berdic, so we'll throw those on here also. How goes the E4 preps, Michael? Did I see you say that you may be going this weekend? You confident? Ready to go? That's kind of exciting. Chesto, Sassy, Signal Beam, Rest. Alright, this is done. Lantern, it says Citrus Mod as usual. I'm planning for Sunday night epic. I don't think I'll be able to watch. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna be out of town visiting some family. So don't spoil anything for me so I can watch the replay. But that is exciting. That's super soon. I'm really hyped to see what the team is. Citrus Adamant. This did not need to be Striker, I don't think. Let's go pull up Kate? Kale? Tate? Kale. This should probably always kill. Even with Tangling Hair, I assume? Does it not? And I need Striker. Oh, this is level 99. That's a little high. I don't need Striker. Then this is fine. Hey, Brolic. And hey, hello, Meownwell. Doing very well. Nice to see you both. This will be a shorter stream, just doing a couple of rain singles and some encounters. I do not have a lot of time this week, and I'm happy I got to squish this in at all. Citrus Modest, Water Absorb, usual here. We checked, we have high horsepower, Citrus Adamant. Decidui needs to be Steel Feather. Very well. Yeah, I'd say I'm doing pretty well. Unless I may have misspoken, but I'm doing pretty well. Just busy, but not in a bad way. Meganium and Berdic have no notes, except I do have a note. Oh man, I'm gonna have to do this run back again. Close combat you get for, you know, beating Regieleki and talking to Watson. And last stream, you can tell I was getting tired. We beat the Regieleki. I did not talk to Watson. And this is where close combat is from. Because I was like, I swear I'm supposed to have this by now to teach to Berdic, but... Funny in prison stuff. Oh man, that's awesome. I did some funny in prison stuff against, was it Winona? No, it was one of the dev with Mimikyu. Imprison Wordier. Got to completely lock it down, which was funny. Funny in prison stuff is always enjoyable. Congrats on getting a Drake right near the end of the game then. Even more E4 is coming up. Duskmar, nice. I think I fought this guy, yeah. I love the Dugong Blubs. So cute. A move that I think is more funny with the move than in prison. Oh, that is exciting. My Elite Four run is also going to have some shenanigans with a move that I think is more funny than in prison. I'm curious if we're doing the same shenanigans with the same move. I think close combat was way up there. I'm gonna have a somewhat shenanigans-laden Elite Four run, I think. I don't have any shenanigans planned for Glacia, which is part of why that fight is harder. Stitch superpower for this. This thing also needs Earthquake for the second fight, so I'm just gonna give it to it now. I think we are not using the same shenanigans. Okay, that's nice. Glacia is the first place I would do my shenanigans. Okay, definitely different shenanigans then. I think there may be a chance if I get Snow Glacia with certain Hasbat oddsing, I think there may be a chance for shenanigans, but I'm just hoping to dodge Snow Glacia altogether, to be honest with you. At least with the current plan does not like Snow Glacia nearly as much. And I guess we can also make this Rain Speed. So Berdic has been box warming except for that one Mega Snorlax counter. Dreaming about this moment here for the Rain route, which they're not that difficult fights anyway, but we're still excited on its behalf. Steel Feather, Spirit Check, Sucker Punch. This needs Steel Wing back. Decidui picking up all these like bird moves is so nice. Like, just having stealing for fairy types is really, really nice. False Swipe, and I think we're gonna ditch Sucker Punch also, just to give it some grass coverage. Sunglacier is so much easier. Snowglacier should be fine too. I'm not even convinced that with my current plan that I would classify Snowglacier as feeling like fine. Um, sorry, my wife is giggling at me in the background. I think I need to dodge a crit and a flinch, or one of my mons dies. I shouldn't wipe to it, and I don't think I need that mon for the rest of the Elite Four. It would be nice to have for Cynthia, but I think that is the current strategy. Sunglacier should be okay. Sunglacier is so stallable that even if things kind of go a little sideways, you can just reliably do that. Alright, 121. We are going to wait on the grass for 121. I have spent a little bit of time thinking about what I wanted out of 121. And I think it's going to be this guaranteed Frillish Jellicent. I think just having access to like ghost types with really flexible secondary types is pretty much always useful. The grass in 121 seems kind of weak to me. And I don't think, like, I could try for this Flaffy, but 25% chance at a Flaffy versus 100% chance at a Jellicent. I don't know. This seems like a pretty clear Jellicent to me. Would be interested in hearing alternative takes, of course, but like, it's, you know, Water Absorb on a Ghost type is just as flexible as Flash Fire on the Ghost type with Ceruledge. It gets Water Bubble on the off chance you need Fire Resist instead. Just super thick mon to begin with, so. And also, like, there's Choice Scarf Water Spout shenanigans, which sounds kind of fun. I really like Jellicent as a mon. A Guaranteed Jellicent sounds just fine here. So that's my plan for 121. We're going to wait a little bit. You just stall it as the snow and Abomasnow comes in. Oh man, that is super interesting. My plan for Abomasnow is to panic, hard switch, and try to kill it really quickly. In probably that order. We're not doing Byron today. We'll do Byron a little later, I think. I still have to go back and do Wake too. I haven't forgotten about them. And I do want to do all of the Sinnoh leaders, but not right now. Don't have them prepped. Oh, the Pringles. Also learns Trick Room outside of this format. Oh yeah, Jellicent is such a cool mon. It's got so many little niche uses. I use it a lot in my competitive days, just because I like it. It's pretty solid. Taking my prize of least Sinnoh leaders defeated. You know what? That is also something worth celebrating. I think I've already checked this because nothing was weird. Like, these were all standard mons except the Decidueye needed Adamant Steel Feather. And this Beardick doesn't even have an item here. I think that's fine, honestly. It shouldn't see use. Ice Hammer. Okay, this is fine. Go for another save to grab my my Calyx setup. This has got some very short notes. This first fight actually does not have the shortest notes of all of them, despite having like maybe not quite 10 lines worth of notes, including the turn markers. Load. And we got Dugong, Lantern, Mudsdale. Oh man, we struggle to find Mudsdale. He's brown and a horse. There he is. Decidueye, and then Meganium and Beardick. Neither of these should see play, but Meganium is a failsafe with the priority Giga Drain. Back to the chat. Alright. Fight 1. Oh, I should do my team scroll for legality here. Just double check the items. These are all berries. So, one feather. This is a different feather. This has no item. And then we're back at Dugong. Alright. Let's put this at 71 so we can actually get a Golduck to look at. There we go. So the best thing I could think of for this Golbat, nothing I have can outspeed this. I think Scarf Jolteon might be able to outspeed this. Let's put ourselves in rain. Is that lying? I think maybe I checked and it can't. Choice? Scarf? Yeah, Scarf Jolteon can't even outspeed this. So the plan was always we were going to have to tank hits from it and 1v1 it, and it's a special attacker with no super effective move on Dugong. So Dugong is the greatest, and it even has the natural Signal Beam, so this is a really straightforward 1v1 for Dugong. It's fine, like if this has bad odds for whatever reason, we don't really care. I don't think it can. Maybe it might be able to go Clawitzer. It couldn't go this because Ice Beam does too much damage. Probably the same with Zip Striker. Yeah, it just takes too much damage. But maybe. But the Dugong is just so safe to come into this Golduck whenever it needs to. We're not bothered. Okay, let's double check we don't die to crit here. 167 and -1 Spadef. Crit Psychic. Yeah, still only 35. Dugong really, really good into this Golduck. Ah man, double confusion breaks. Why does this move even have a confusion effect? Come on. And now we get the crit. You'll love to see it. That crit super mattered. Dugong really is goated. This mon has been just fabulous the entire run. I'm sure Walrein is very similar, but been very, very happy with this. So this is Zebstrika, which should be going for an electric type move. We're just going to hard switch into our ground type. Zebstrika can bail out here if it wants to, into Clawitzer for sure, which could kill me with Water Pulse. It's fine if it does, because then my Mudsdale's at full health and can come in on this really easily. We can tank in the rain. Flare Blitz kind of sucks, so Mudsdale can tank repeated crits from this and always one-shot, so the hazmat oddsing on the Zebstrika doesn't matter even if it happens. It doesn't happen at all, but if it did, it wouldn't have mattered. So if I'm not mistaken, this Clawitzer, I'll double check the ranges, but I think this is random move. Yeah, between Ice Beam and Water Pulse, both of these have the ability to one-shot me. And neither of them is like inherently miles better than the other. I'm not a special attacker for the Frostbite to matter, and the Water Pulse confuses just a chance. So I think this is random move. If it's Ice Beam, we want to wall it with Dugong. If it's Water Pulse, we want to wall it with Lantern. So we're going to check with Lantern, because we don't want to get our Dugong confused. And Lantern can obviously tank an Ice Beam. Lantern can still 1v1 this if he is going for Ice Beam. He's going for Water Pulse, so we're fine. Lantern can 1v1 this if it's Ice Beam. It just is a little bit less safe to crits. So if you check out Ice Beam into Lantern's at 58, Lantern is getting outsped, so the crits can add up, especially with a Frostbite. Dugong takes nothing from Ice Beams. Like, crit Ice Beams, it can eat more than 10, which is crazy. So we just, like, we sit there, we rest when we've taken, like, 2 or 3, probably, and we can kill it with the Dugong. So the pivot Lantern was just in case. Looks like we're going to just be fine staying in on the Lantern here and killing it. Lapras chance over guaranteed Dugong, and it was a mistake. I respect the Lapras choice, though. I know you kind of wanted one. That would have been cool. That one looks really neat with the Mega. Like, Water Dragon is such a good typing. But man, Ice Scales Dugong is also really, really strong. I'm not sure if it or Walrein are better than the other, but I do think both are hugely, like, gameplay-defining mons. It's cool that you get, like, a guaranteed one of the two. That's one of my favorite encounters in the game, I think. It's the 115 fish. So this Shiinotic probably doesn't see that it can kill me with anything. Awesome. Which means it should be going for Spore. So this is why we're going to kill this with a Grass type. Just means we can tank the Spore without thinking about it. We're never dead to Moonblast crit, and we 2-hit KO with Steel Wing. And we have this. The reason we have the Steel Feather, this should do, I think, 65 to 70 or something. So after Leftovers Rain Dish, it should still be in range of the second one always. So if this Moonblast crits, I'm not screwed. Let's double check that I'm not wrong with that. Oh right, Steel Feather doesn't exist. Metal Coats. Yeah, 60 to 70. So even after those two, it still gets 2-shot. Alright, there goes Kale. Next trainer, we need exactly 2 Mons for. It's kind of hilarious. I'll probably keep the safety net Dugong. I think my notes for this one have like moral support Mons listed. Is it Tammy or Jessica? I think it's Tammy. Tammy, yeah. Notes for Tammy. I did not even list moral support Mons. Well, I'm sure it's probably fine. Let's just throw like, maybe we'll throw like a generic Jolteon onto the team. Lantern seems fine. We'll just roll with this. Roserade sweeps all 3 of these trainers. I completely believe it. They kind of seem to fall over to most things. Beardick could have swept the first trainer. Almost like this Golduck posed a little bit of an issue, and it needed to balance like Jolly versus Adamant and Life Orb for guaranteeing one-shots on Clawitzer, and like how do you get it in because it can't beat the Golduck. And it just was easier to not bother using it for this fight. It is going to kill everything in this one though. This was Tammy? Tammy, yep. I suspect the nature of this doesn't matter. Oh, it's already adamant. Look at that. We don't need to give it an item either. We also don't really need to give Beardick an item. Let's just give them both Citrus so they have something when they're sitting in the PC later, right? Oh yeah, Armaldo also could be good here. I think Rain Root is just like, it's so beneficial to the player also. Like Rain is, you get so many water mons. I think their teams are just kind of have exploitable weaknesses for the most part. We just double check that Beardick has the set that it needs, and that I'm not incidentally bringing anything illegal in the party. So it wants Adamant, Swift Swim, Close Combat, Ice Hammer, Earthquake. And this Noivern just needs the move U-turn and to be faster than Jinx. So we'll do the full team scroll just to make sure I'm not bringing anything illegal. There's one magnet. There's a fairy feather. More citrus. All right, we're fine. Import this. So the only issue that Beardick had for this is that it has you have to break Jinx's sash. So we get like outspeed one shot there, outspeed one shot there, outspeed one shot there, and outspeed one shot there. You just can't, like, you have to deal with this Jinx somehow. So the plan was bait in move that is not Lovely Kiss. So Beardick can come in safely, break the sash, and then we're good to go. And this will bait Freeze Dry because it sees a guaranteed kill, and Beardick tanks any Freeze Dry. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. It kind of spoils how the fights are going to go, but when I say, yeah, we need 2 Mons, one of them has U-turn and one of them has Beardick, I feel like it's straightforward. After I planned this fight, I was like, oh man, I totally can stream tonight, because it had only been like half an hour. Which for me is like very short. This probably brings Jinx so low that I can just Earthquake even and not drop the stats on Berdic. To be like half? About half. Earthquake does 70. Okay, sweet. We don't even need the close combat. This Vivillon dies to Ice Hammer. Feeling like a mammoth swine a little bit. And we don't actually need close combat for this. Earthquake also works. Berdic appears and annihilates. Yeah, the sand route is way more difficult than the rain route. I would completely agree with that. I don't even think it's close. The snow route also, to be honest, there's a lot of scary shit on the snow route. The Arctozolt, the Glalie, Charlotte is a monster. I haven't looked at the double for the rain route yet, but all of the single trainers are really, really chill. And sand is also nasty because it comes like right out of the trick house log. It's kind of morally, it breaks morale a little bit, you know. Jessica has a more legitimate team, I think, or a more legitimate plan anyway. Yeah, because this is the one with the Blastoise, and also Focus Sash Mon into Sturdy Mon. Like, god damn, hate this shit. Where is my Floatzel? Anytime, I swear half of the reason Floatzel sees so much use is just because it can beat Focus Sash Sturdy Mons. We need Jolteon for this. My note says moral support Dugong. I'm on board for that. Lantern. Golisopod. And we have a somewhat moral supporting Ceruledge. There's a possibility we just need to use its typing. It shouldn't be clicking a move. My Floatzel already lonely? No. Notes say lonely. This is another one of those sort of like perfect calc openers, which I will double check before starting the battle just to make absolutely certain. Does Floatzel have my Life Orb too? No, Air Balloon. Actually not sure where my Life Orb is. Jolteon needs it though. Is it just in my bag? Yeah, okay, great. You need a Mystic Water. Fake Out, Flip Turn, Ice Beam. We want Wave Crash over Rock Smash. Jolteon wants... We just want to replace... We already have HP Ice? Okay, we just want to replace Thunderbolt with Thunder. Probably the one Thunder Jolteon's gonna drop. Unless maybe it'll come to the double. But probably the one Thunder Jolteon's gonna drop this playthrough. Lantern is normal. My notes say fix Golisopod's IVs. Yeah, we set this to 5 for something, I can't remember exactly what. And it also needs to be impish. I gotta say, I do love the little detail of Golisopod ranges. It's very fun. Mana's a good time. I think I wanted an expert belt on it. It already has an expert belt. Maybe I was just leaving it there. And Leech Life First Impression is all it needs. Cerulege, I have Jolly. I think that's just so that it can outspeed Blastoise if it has to for whatever reason. Cerulege is mostly here if I need to tank an Aura Sphere and bait a water move from the Blastoise. Dugong, I have 0 notes for. Okay. So I will. Let's double check this now, and then I'll pop a save and check a calc, and then we'll be good to go. Fake Out, Flip Turn, Ice Beam, Wave Crash, Thunder, Iron Tail, Volt Switch, HP Ice, Life Orb, and Rash is fine. Citrus, Modest, Water Absorb, the usual. First Impression, Leech Life. Expert Belt and Impish. We have a Jolly, Cerulege. I don't think the item matters, so Bandit is fine. And Dugong is here for moral support and emergency backup Blastoise counter. So let's save. And then go do our import. And then see about, I think 4 encounters. I think 121, 2, 3, and Mount Pyre, if I'm not mistaken. I have thought about what I want from all of them to try to expedite stream a little bit. Not that I don't enjoy the stream, but you know, like I said, kind of limited time at the moment. Jolteon, Lantern, Golisopod, Cerulege, and the moral support. Walrus? Okay, so the calc to check is I'm in Rain. I got the Mystic Water. Alright, so this is 115 off of Flip Turn. And 82 off of the Thunder. And that is 197, which perfectly kills the Magnezone. That is all I needed to double check. Everything else should be fine. So Kustap Berry Explosion. Oh man, look at the funky colors with the weather. Dynamic overworld palettes. I gotta report this to expansion at some point. Just been busy. We have a few. What would you call them? Contingency plans. The other reason that Cerulege is here is if I crit. Do you know what? Let's just get into the fight. Yeah, it may tank an explosion. So the plan here is that Mystic Water Rain boosted Floatzel into Thunder Life Orb Jolteon does 197 damage. Magnezone has 196 health. This also does not ever put it in Kustap range unless Floatzel crits. If Floatzel crits this full turn, and it will get put into Sturdy range, or into Kustap range, that's fine. We still go into Jolteon expecting to get hit by a Thunder. And then we expect it to try to explode, we go Cerulege. Otherwise, Jolteon will kill this. And we want Jolteon in because it can't survive the Life Orb Aqua Jet from Crawdaunt, but it can one-shot everything. So it should do very well for us here. And it comes in for free on this Thunder, which is super sweet. And we did not crit the flip turn, so Jolteon's going to pick up the kill with Thunder here. That is a cool animation. Probably it's Glisor, because the AI sees it gets one-shot by everything, so it doesn't end up using the smart switching logic anymore. It'll just go by default highest damage, I think. And this does get one-shot by HP Ice, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So this is where we need to be careful. Because now I believe... Yeah, okay. If this was Blastoise first, we'd be super happy with that. We just get another free kill with Thunder. The problem here is Jolteon has been taking some turns of Life Orb damage. What am I at? 157? Jolteon has been taking turns of Life Orb damage, which means it's actually dead to some Aqua Jet rolls. Most Aqua Jet rolls. The AI is going to see it as being dead to Aqua Jet. The AI is also going to see it as being dead to Knockoff and Liquidation. I'm not sure if the fact that... So, like, Knockoff is a slow kill, which is, like, +5. Aqua Jet is a fast kill, which is +7. I can't remember what the Knockoff score boost is. I think it's +2. Which would have the hilarious consequence of this being a random move between Aqua Jet and Knockoff, where Knockoff is slow kill plus knocking off my item, 105 +2, and Aqua Jet is pure fast kill, +7, 107 equals 107. So the plan here to guarantee safety is to go through Golisopod. So Golisopod, with impish nature, never dies to Knockoff crit, but always gets put into emergency exit range, which means we can go into Lantern, and Lantern just kills this with Parabolic Charge. Otherwise, if it's the Aqua Jet instead, we just don't take any damage and kill it with First Impression. I think this is random move between the two. It's Aqua Jet though, so that's fine. You always expect a fast kill as a baseline anyway. But we were fine whichever of those two moves it was. The Golisopod pivot just keeps everything safe. We're gonna get Blastoise here. This should be a pretty clear Water Pulse. I think I do too much damage to it, and it does too much. Or actually, in this form, it's gonna see that it's taking too much damage to do Shell Smash, I think. So I'm expecting this to be Water Pulse. It can be Ice Beam, that's also fine. We're gonna go into Lantern, which, as we saw in the previous fight, were something I had to either take Water Move or Ice Move. Lantern is a really sweet pivot into those, because if it's Water Move, it's free, and we just get to sit here. I think this is Water Pulse. It shouldn't be Aura Sphere, because Aura Sphere is much worse into Golisopod than everything else. Yeah. So we get to sit here with Lantern. If we end up getting crit from some Aura Spheres, or we're like worried about the next Aura Sphere killing us, we'll pivot through Ceruledge, which takes no damage from the Aura Sphere, baits Water Move, and then go back into Lantern. Lantern can probably 1v1 this. And if for whatever reason that plan gets a little concerning, Dugong can also 1v1 this. You just don't want to do it with Dugong first because it'd start Shell Smashing, and that's not good for anybody. Or at least not good for me. So there's Citrus proc. Let's make sure we aren't in crit Aura Sphere range. 177. Nope, this mon. 177. Crit Aura Sphere. 62. So it does 175. Okay, so we can still tank any crit Aura Sphere. Good to stay in. Nice! I mean, crit obviously didn't really matter for the sake of killing the Blastoise, but just makes it a little bit faster, I suppose. And there goes Beauty Jessica. Alright, nice and easy. Probably the easiest sequence of fights so far in the game, I think. Some of the Trick House sequences were really easy. This is right up there with those. Feels pretty nice to have it go that well, though. Rosary, yeah, I can imagine. Some of the Rosary, I caught some of the lines nearer the end of your playthrough, and the Rosary was always putting in so much work. Oh, there's a TM down here. Isn't there a cheeky trainer somewhere over here? Yeah. Cheeky trainer. So we're not going to go Safari Zone. Let's not do that double. We're not going to go into the Safari Zone today. For anybody who missed last stream, we were talking about this zone southeast is probably what I'd like to do. I think I want to target the Kilowattrel. For some of the nastier fights coming up in the game. I know this mon is crazy good from watching Toaster use it, and he has reaffirmed that this is really nice into some of the later, especially the team fights. And if I miss here, I have shots at Gimmighoul, Fracture, Kadabra, and Gliscor, all of which I would be happy with. The alternative, and the reason I'm not just going for that, is there is an two Ogerpon encounters here. That I have a Harvest Executor, and I can fish for these. So that it conflict with Ferrothorn, and I think a second... Yeah, Ferrothorn and Amoonguss. So this should be 25% Ogerpon, and then 12.5 Amoonguss, 12.5 Ferrothorn. This is a candidate for my Legendary slot. What I think I'd like to do for my Legendary slot is go for Shaman. For anybody who wasn't here last stream, if we take a look at 1F in Sky Pillar, again, I have a Harvest Executor, so we got a 50% at the Shaman. There's no other grass type, but it's actually way better than 50%. Lucario is a dupe, Noivern is a dupe, and Drapion is a dupe. So the only eligible mons that I can pull are 20 Guardy, 10 Drampa, Zoroark, I guess 25-ish here. So we're looking at like 45%. So like if we lose the Shaman 50-50, there's only another 50% chance that whatever we hit from the loss is a non-dupe. So this is secretly like about, this is not statistically accurate, but it is like 75-ish for Shaman. This is a super likely Shaman. So I want to try this first. And if this fails, go for Ogerpon. If this succeeds, we'll go for Kilowattrel instead. But I can't do this until after Archie, I believe. Which is right at the bottom of this split. Gotta get through this guy first, then we can go try for our Shaman. Ogre's 26 and 25. It might be. Not sure. Isn't there an optional that gives you Shaman, or am I crazy? When I went to the encounters, legendaries, I just control F for Shaman, and it says Sky Pillar 1% encounter. So I don't think so. I think this is one of the encounter ones, which is fine by me because I can fish for it. If we whiff on Shaman and we whiff on Ogerpon, the sort of third considered legendary is Jirachi, which is also also an encounter, although Jirachi would be much later, because let's go find, where is it? Where is it up here? Meteor Falls. We would want to do Jirachi in the last room, because if we miss, then we get a dragon. I mean, or Pupitar. So I would prefer, not to go for the Jirachi. I would prefer Shaman or Ogerpon, but we'll see how the encounter luck goes. So anyway, that's a long-winded explanation for why we are, not going to be doing our Safari Zone encounter quite yet. And like I talked about at the beginning of stream, for 121, I thought this grass looked pretty underwhelming. I liked Flaffy. I think Mega Ampharos probably has some uses. Kling Klang is like, I was looking at this after I ran away from the freaking Metagross, and also like I whiffed on getting the Pawniard, and I ran from the Metang yesterday. It was heartbreaking. Big whoops. Doesn't count as a death at least. This was gonna be like a backup Steelmon, and until I remembered that I hit Drillbur. So I have an Excadrill, and this is not an amazing Steelmon anyway. I don't really want a Xurkitree as my Paradox / Ultra Beast encounter, which is possible when I'm fishing for Flaffy. I think this is otherwise kind of bad. And I think Jellicent is just great, and it's guaranteed. So we're gonna do a little surf. Make sure the game still considers us as being in 121. And it does. And grab our Jellicent. Actually, maybe I should have like a mon that... Oh, I have Lantern in my party, so that's fine. We should just be able to tank whatever. We get the pink one. Probably, what's my favorite kind of jam is either raspberry or blueberry, but it's close. I probably call this one blueberry because it's... Okay, actually, do I call this one blueberry because it's pink and the other one is blue and that's funny? Or do I call it raspberry because that matches? I think blueberry is funnier. Alright, so there's 121. 122 does have grass somewhere. Oh, I guess it's just outside Mount Pyre. I also don't think this encounter table is very good. I've seen people talking up Sand/Alola. Because it has ice scales. We've already done Snow Root, so Slush Rush is useless, but I could see Ice Scales being good. This mon is really slow, and it does have really bad typing. At least defensively. Offensively, I think it's great. Yeah, I could totally see this being worth talking up. The thing that gets me here is this is like the failure rate here. I think all of these mons are not very good. And I don't think I don't think this mon is, like, crazy good. So I have a 50% chance at a mon that is, like, pretty okay. And if we look at fishing, this is what I'm planning on doing. Good Rod, we have a 40% chance at a mon that I think is much better. I think Alolan Muck is... It's not as needed in my run because I hit Absol. And I already have Drapion, which shares the same typing. Drapion, obviously, as everybody always complains about, doesn't have access to Sucker Punch. Absol does. Muck also does. This probably would completely retire Drapion, I would expect. But I would be okay still having a bulkier version of a good dark type because Absol's not very bulky. And like Carvanha is like not great obviously, but I think 40% chance at a mon. I think Grimer Alola and Muck Alola are better than lots of Alolan options. I think Alolan Muck is better than Alolan Sandshrew. This is 50%. This is 40%. I think this Muck is more better than the 10% chance is worth. I don't think Carvanha or Sharpedo would ever get used, probably. That Speed Boost has to be banned. It's like another offensive Mega, which is, I guess, fine. Maybe this could get used somewhere. I think probably not. I guess it's got decent coverage. Probably Aqua Jet and Priority, so like maybe there's a use here. Does it get like Detect or something? That would be kind of cool. Destiny Bond, that's banned. Close Combat. Okay, like this one I don't think is very useful either, and I would prefer Sandslash over this, probably. I don't have very many fast water mons other than Floatzel, but Floatzel kind of does that really well. But long story short, I think I'm gonna fish for the Grimer/Carvanha as opposed to trying to magnet pull for Sandslash. I think it's got much higher upside. Just want to make sure I'm in the right route. Here we go, 122. Rid of Repel. It was Good Rod, right? Good Rod, 40. This is 5 with a super and 30 with an old. Yeah, okay. The Surf Encounter is crabby, so I already have Kingler. I like my Kingler, but I don't need another one. Okay, we do hit the Grimer. Nice. I don't think this is a super world-changing encounter, probably. Like I said, because I already have Absol, which is going to do way more damage than the Grimer ever would, but pretty happy with that. We'll take it. What do we call him? It's that, the big bad in Mario Sunshine. It's Gooper Blooper. I think Blooper is a cuter name than Gooper. For anybody who has not played Super Mario Sunshine, first of all, you're missing out. You should probably go play Super Mario Sunshine. Secondly, it's this one. He's great. You have to pull this cork out of his nose. He spins in circles. He gets really mad. Maybe it's in other spin-off games or whatever. I'm not sure, but Mario Sunshine is a fantastic time. So you have both Pyre and 123. I guess we'll do Pyre first because it's on the way. So I talked about this yesterday. I want something very specific from Mount Pyre. Kind of specific, I guess, kind of not specific. And it's not even necessarily from Mount Pyre. Let me open up the Hall of Fame sheet. So as I was talking about last stream, if we're looking at this Hall of Fame, we see Ghost Fire, Ghost Fire, Ghost Fire, Ghost Fire. I would like a Ghost Fire mon. I think it's really good into Sun Glacia. It helps with some of the coverage in Phoebe. Probably not coming up at all in Sydney. May help as a bait and some switching around the Garchomp and the Zamazenta on Cynthia. Unlikely to see use in the champ fight. But in the lines that I've been prepping, I have had an empty slot for literally Ghost Firemon. And I'd like one that is not on the sheet already. So like Ceruledge would do the job that I need done totally fine. This is why it's on the sheet so often, right? Skeledirge would also, obviously I didn't hatch one. So what are my remaining options for a Ghost Fire type if I want a unique? Because I'm likely to be bringing one to the E4. So if we, I guess I can't look for Ghost Fire. There are 3 Ghost Fire type mons that would work, that haven't been champed yet. One of them is Chandelure, which is here. One of them is Alolan Marowak. And one of them is Hisuian Typhlosion. And I don't have access to Hisuian Typhlosion, I don't think. Is it his Avalugg, Lilligant, Arcanine, and I don't think there's a Cyndaquil. So I don't think I have any way to get the Hisuian Typhlosion, which means I have to look for either Marowak or Chandelure. I believe I missed out on a Cubone. Cubone? We're in caves. I missed out on a Cubone west of Mauville. So we can't go the route of Cubone. We have to go Marowak, which is not in grass anymore. Yeah. And the Alolan Marowak is only this rare encounter in Pyre. So if you miss it west of Rustboro, this is the only one you can get. Chandelure is a lot of places. So there's Chandelure we can try for in Magma Hideout. Probably, like, I think all these floors have the same encounter table. It forces us to share it with a Darmanitan, and I guess a Chi-Yu. But we would go get try for our Shaman first, so we'd probably have a Mythic to dupe this. So it'd be Darm versus Shandy. And there's another one in... not Meteor Falls. What is the cave, the one in the desert? Mirage Tower. I remember finding... is it a Lampent instead? Nope. Is it a Litwick? Yeah, Litwick is in Mirage Tower. And here it's shared with Slitherwing. So we have... this is the other reason that I've been delaying Mirage Encounters so long. Is because if I miss... one of Chandelure Marowak here, I can try again for Chandelure in Hideout. I can try again for Chandelure in Mirage Tower. If I miss all of them, it's kind of whatever. It probably just means I'm going to end up taking one fewer unique. So there's a long-winded discussion. We're going to go try to Flash Fire in here, just for 50. Like we'll have a 50% chance here, and then I think a 25% chance in both of the other two. So our chances of getting one eventually are pretty good. But we gotta start taking cracks at it as soon as we're able, and this is the first place we're able. It was on the second floor. I'm not misremembering this. 1F. I imagine everybody goes for the Dreepy here. Totally legit, totally respectable. But I'm gonna fish for the Lampint. Or the Marowak. I think Marowak might be better. I'm not sure how many folks have looked into Marowak, into the champ. Electivire. This is why it's so good. In addition to just sort of being a generic, you know, ghost fire type, which are always nice. It is a lightning rod ghost fire type. Which means if you give it an air balloon, Glacia's Electivire can't touch it. Which is just awesome. Like, always having a safe out when Electivire comes out, especially if it comes out multiple times from bad oddsing or whatever. This is huge. Because the Electivire is, I believe, on both Glacias. Reshiram. Okay, so I guess it's not on Sun Glacia. My plan for Sun Glacia is looking much better than my plan for Hail Glacia, so having the Marowak, I think, should help offset that a little bit. Shandy has Flash Fire instead. I think it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of another. Enough chatting. This is... You know what? Let's make sure this is the second floor, right? This is the main floor? Yeah, there's the door out. There's the way I came in. Okay. A Lampint. Okay, sure. Not quite as stylish as the Alolan Marowak would have been, but I was way more likely to end up with one of these anyway, because it has 2 other encounter tables I could use if I need to. And I guess I'm gonna need to. That's tough. Crap. Do I get any TMs from here? Pyre. Sludgewave outside. Ah, man. Losing that right after losing the Metagross encounter is fucking rough. 2 shots at a Shandy. We're going to be delaying the Mirage Tower for quite a while, I think. That fucking sucks. Memento is a dark type move, right? Like, there's nothing I could have done about that. Had I known it had it. Yeah, dark type, great. This probably means, what level does Lampint get this at? Actually, if he encounters in Magma Hideout, I think we're all Chandelures. And Chandelure does not get Memento. Magma Hideouts. Yeah, just Chandelure. And Litwick is 30 to 35. Is Litwick gonna have Memento? Oh shit, sometimes it's gonna have Memento. Oh dude, I forgot about the Master... I mean, I wouldn't have used one anyways because I didn't know it had Memento, but yeah, that's definitely the point. If we might end up Master Balling a Litwick, which would be very funny. This is one that I can go get. What else is on this floor? Oh, this has got Slitherwing, right? Bug fighting with multi-scale. This is the Sun Boost one? Oh, this isn't a fire type. I thought this was a fire type. Is Iron Moth a fire type? Yes, okay. And this would not be an E4 mod. It might be good up to the E4. I think Toaster got pretty good use out of his. But this does not have a space on my E4 roster. I'm gonna have to look into whether or not I can afford to get this as a paradox, or just like give up on Mirage Tower if I don't want it. So that's going to be some thinking. Maybe I got a lot of driving this weekend. Maybe I'll do some long form planning there. But yeah, definitely we'll keep in mind the Memento Master Boss. Think of how good this section of the game would be on a New Game Plus. We'd still get an encounter that could be a Metagross. We'd still get an encounter in Pyre that could be a Shandy. I guess if we get the Shandy later, it's just a dead encounter. Nah, this is just pure badness. Unfortunate. Two fudged encounters that close together is kind of rough. Okay, so if Moth is got those kinds of positive reviews, I'm gonna look into it still because I have one open slot on my Elite Four team at the moment, and I want to see if a paradox makes sense there. And if it does, I may have to target that paradox first so that I can dupe the Moth. If it doesn't make sense on the E4 team and I'm not particularly partial one way or the other, then I'll go try to burn the Shandy counter there so we can have it earlier. Top Fragger, wow. Maybe that is just worth doing anyway. But we're not going to do it today. Ugh, that sucks. 123, on a happier note. Yeah, Surskit. I imagine what pretty much everybody does on 123 is the same thing that I'm going to do. Which is to magnet pull for a Hisuian Sliggoo, or a Hisuian Sliggoo, however you want to say it. Iron Moth, as we just saw, this is a poison fire type. This is the only steel type on the route. I think this route is kind of meh otherwise, but I think the Sliggoo would be nice. I'd like a bulkier dragon type, and this would be access to one early on. So we'll see. Let Rabambi... I know Rabambi is pretty good. I think Iriv speaks very highly of Rabambi. Yeah, Magnet Pull, okay. I think Rabambi was good into Drake, but I can't fish for the Rabambi, so we'll try to go for a usable encounter here. Okay, we do hit the Sliggoo. Do you have Memento or Explosion or some garbage? Muddy Water, Body Slam, Flail, Dragon Breath. We're fine. 1% Dusclops. That's fantastic. Pocky is scarred. Man, like losing two good encounters back to back like that is deeply troubling. Why does it have Memento? Crap. Final Gambit. I friggin' checked this time. If they're encounters I care, but I have to check. Oh my god, is my Golem gonna die? Okay, never mind. 30 levels makes a difference. Alright, we're gonna have to go into Dugong to make sure our Golem doesn't die. Because there might be some magnet pulls up. Oh, dude. Ah. Ah, fuck. I'm not clausing shit. I don't want to have an asterisk on this sheet, and that's not what you're supposed to do. Like, there is no way that if anybody other than me was like, hey, I just ran away from another encounter, can I redo that? That the answer would be, yeah, that's totally in the spirit of the sheet. I understand it is my second one. Man, we just killed a Chandelure, a Metagross, and a Hisuian Gudra back to back to back. Trying my best to sabotage my own run here, Christ. He definitely looks like a Grimer. I like his expression. Furlish also cute. I'm more excited for the Jellicent though. He does look like he tried to bite your shoes. It's a very good description. I don't even know that I really needed the Muck very much. I think it was just better than the other encounters. I already have the Absol and the Drapion. It is better than Drapion, I think, but... one of the two Steel types would have been good. The Elite 4 Caliber Mon would have also been good. Oh well. I didn't really need Shandy for the playthrough, though, to be honest. It's just like it'd be good to have by the E4 so I can get another unique in there, but... Use Fire Ghost when you have Water Ghost? Fair points. Man, we've killed a Corviknight, a Metagross, and a Hisuian Gudra. I just have a thing against Steel types. That's fire with Water Ball, but kinda. Except I feel like the fire moves are usually a little better to absorb, hence the Cerulege being so much better. But I am happy to have both. Again, I think Jellicent is a really sweet mon to have access to for the playthrough. I would have loved to see the big Pringle mustache, but this is also funny. Man, Muck looks awesome. It's like perfect. Alright, let's throw these some decent moves on these, and then I'm gonna end stream. Definitely not doing another fight prep today. Look, he learns Memento! Maybe that's the play. Parting Shot's kind of cool. Actually, is that banned? Probably. Oh, Parting Shot is not banned. That's neat. There's a free eject button. This is Memento banned? Memento is also not banned. That's kind of spicy. A poison move would probably be good. Poison Fang or Poison Jab do more damage. Jab, okay. Which TM is this? Actually, I guess we can just give it Parting Shot now so I don't forget that it learns it. And then we can just replace it with TMs as needed. recover, pretty sweet. Any other goodies in here? Not super. Probably just Shadow Ball, like maybe Ice Beam for just some generic coverage. Actually, maybe just second water move, so I'm not I'm not only ever looking at water spout damage, because that shit's kind of variable. How many encounters do you need to run away from before that has to be the note next to your name on the Hall of Fame sheet? Attempt 3 wipe to an execute? That's hilarious. I mean, it's hilarious in an endearing way. Look, I ran away from a Hisuian Gudra, right? And also a Metagross. we make mistakes sometimes. Fucking, this should be your fun fact. The thing is, I really want my fun fact to be... Here, I want my fun fact to be like... Mawile got a record 19 KOs during the E4. That's what I want my fun fact to be. I don't know if we're gonna get there, but if we get this, I want that to be the fun fact. Have it on record that this is the greatest E4 mon of all time. Current record is 18 with Matt's Lopunny. Just insane. Mawile had a record. So this is what we gotta beat. I think your Slaking had 14, if I counted correctly. Nobody was close. Like, I think Slaking is in second with 14. Nobody was close to Matt's Lopunny. This thing came in at 1 HP with Endure, Sucker Punch, and some other crap, and just like killed literally 3 full trainers by itself. Crazy. It was absolutely psychotic, yes. If I get some of the right teams, I think Mawile can get right up there. I have a line for Mawile to 6-0 one of the Sydneys. I think it 4-0s the other Sydney. I think it gets 4 to 5 in Phoebe, depending on which Phoebe. Glacia, it's like, it pretty much gets nothing. You're building your team around Mawile, Glacia is going to be a struggle. And then I think it gets 3 or so in Cynthia, and maybe 2 in the champ fight. So, like, you know, luck pending, it's actually got a shot. Slaking would have got 3 more if I got Sydney 1, so Slaking could have been up at 17. That's crazy. I'd like to put Mawile right up there with Slaking and Lopunny as, like, the killingest mons in the Elite Four history. Good thing I didn't run away from my Mawile. What's the save? What is, where am I looking? What's next? Oh, right, the double. This is probably my last stream for this week. Unless this is really short to prep. And like I said, I'll be gone on the weekend, so probably won't be resuming streams until, like, next Tuesday or so. But, yeah. Thank you all for watching. Glad we got through a couple of singles. Bit unfortunate with the counter business, but at least we got our Grimer. That's something. And also the Jellicent, I suppose. In any case, I will see you all in Discord. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'll see you next time.